Japan has to be one of the most unique and ingenious countries in the world. Don't believe me? Well, the photos in this video will prove it. So without further ado, here are photos that prove Japan is unlike any other country you've ever seen. To start things off is a photo that shows how the perfect protest is done. To prove a point, Japanese bus drivers decided to keep their passengers on time for free so that the bus companies lost revenue without hassling their fellow citizens. It's genius and considerate. This next photo is a can that has Braille on top for blind people to read. This just goes to show the lengths the Japanese will go to in order to cater to all its citizens, whether they're handicapped or not, which will be evident again in the next photo, which is a baby seat attached to the walls of a bathroom. I don't know why the rest of the world hasn't thought of this sooner. After all, it's not only babies who need to take a leak, right? Either way, you'll love this if you're a mother or a father because it gives you the ability to use the bathroom in peace knowing your child's safe. That's another point for Japan. Well, what if you want to make your bathroom experience a little more interactive? With this urinal, you can play games while peeing, which is something I think is completely unnecessary, but still a whole lot of fun. Just make sure you don't stay in the bathroom too long. Speaking of babies, this next photo perfectly captures how Japan takes care of the mothers who birthed them. This beyond delicious meal is what a Japanese hospital gave to a woman who just gave birth and makes you wonder why every hospital in the world doesn't do this. Next up, how Japan is not only considerate to its people, but also for nature's resources. This toilet in Japan allows you to wash your hands and reuse the water for your next flush. While it sounds nasty, it really isn't, and actually saves a lot of space and the environment as well. When it comes to damaged property, the majority of the world might be pulling their hair in frustration as they try to piece together what happened. Not in Japan. One Japanese fellow accidentally pushed over a bike and broke its bell, and what happened after is extraordinary. He wrote a note apologizing and even gave money for the bike owner's troubles. That's courtesy you'll rarely find around the globe. Japan's courtesy doesn't end there. One tourist left their shopping bag on the streets of Osaka and decided to come back for it the next day. To her surprise, it was resting aside a tree where she left it and it was untouched. There may have been a time when this kind of honesty was common around the world, but now it seems it's only Japan that has it. Another thing you'll rarely find around the globe are Japan's bullet trains. If you've ever wondered why, this photo is the only explanation you'll need. The train runs so fast and so smoothly that a coin will stand up uninterrupted. If there's any country that can translate the literal experience of moving as fast as a bullet into a train, it's Japan. If bullet trains get you uneasy, how about relaxing yourself with a foot bath in the Toryū Tsubasa train? That'll surely make one hell of a relaxing commute. And just when you thought the trains of Japan couldn't get any cooler, they created seats that can rotate in any direction. It's incredibly ingenious and goes to show how thoughtful the Japanese are when it comes to crafting any product. Seriously, is there anything Japanese trains don't have? In another case involving a train, this photo captures how Japanese people are willing to come together for a common goal. In this case, it's to save a woman who fell and got stuck between the train and the platform. It's not often where you see people come together like this, and it's a happy thought knowing humans are still capable of doing these kinds of helpful acts. In this last case involving a train, it's definitely one thing you've probably never heard of. A Japanese train was 25 seconds early. Emphasis on early, and because of this being the second such incident in months, the rail company issued an apology to the public. Who apologizes for being 25 seconds early? Apparently, the ever-courteous Japanese. Of course, there are certain acts that you'd prefer to keep to yourself, such as pooping, and what's amazing is that Japan also takes this into consideration when making their toilets. How? By giving toilets the ability to play white noise so other people won't hear you pooping. It may sound comical now, but you'll be thanking Japan later when you use it. Having an umbrella is a necessity in almost any country that experiences rain, and Japan has its fair share. So what have they decided to do about it? Create an umbrella locker for people. This removes the hassle of needing to bring your umbrella inside the building and also eliminates the possibility of it being misplaced. I guess it's safe to say that Japan takes their umbrellas seriously. Advertising can be a shady thing to some people, especially since a lot of it is false. This usually means you don't get what you pay for. Sucks, I know. However, Japan cares to differ by offering you exactly what it shows in its photos. This is a perfect example of expectations meeting reality, and I hope the rest of the world starts to be like this. Now, I love gum, but I hate how difficult it is to dispose of my gum after I'm done chewing it, which is why this photo is pure genius. This gum brand decided to put little pieces of paper inside so you have an easy way of disposing your gum. It's like they read my mind. Not only that, you'll probably never experience stepping on gum in Japan thanks to these pieces of paper. Have you ever bought groceries and on the way home see something you really like and wish you could buy it, but can't because your groceries will spoil? Then you'll wish your country had these refrigerated lockers. This way you can continue your shopping spree without worrying about your groceries going bad. Is there anything Japan hasn't thought of yet? If you travel often, you'll learn to appreciate the treats an airport gives you upon landing, whether it's a drink or some candy. In that case, you'll really love the Narita International Airport in Tokyo because they give you something that is uniquely Japanese. Free origami. It's very native to Japan and really brings out their culture. Plus, it's a great souvenir to bring home. Not only do the Japanese welcome you with origami at the airport, but the airport staff make sure your stay in Japan is smooth, and it all starts with your luggage. They do this by sorting your luggage by color. This makes sure everything is accounted for and lessens the chance of luggage going missing so that your stay in Japan is nothing but amazing. Before I reveal the next example, you should subscribe if you've enjoyed this video. We upload amazing fact-filled list videos daily. Also, make sure to click that bell icon to stay updated or you'll regret missing out on some amazing knowledge that could have filled your brain. Now let's get back to it. You're done with the airport and now you're at the hotel. You want to sleep, but your partner wants to stay up reading a book. The answer to your problem? A lamp that can be half lit. With this, you can sleep in peace while your partner gets to read their book. Another example of ingenious Japanese craftsmanship. The Japanese are serious when it comes to their art and craftsmanship, and this extends to their manholes. Yes, they're manholes. In different parts of Japan, their manholes are crafted beautifully to express not only Japanese culture, but their art as well. If only manholes all around the world looked like this. If you don't know by now, the Japanese are one of the cleanest and most orderly people ever. And you don't even need to meet them to know this. Take this photo for example. People are asked to put a dot in the country they're from, and do you notice the paper that's organized and clean? Yep, it's Japan. Their orderliness is unlike any other country and is something every country should aspire to. Bravo, Japan. A more concrete example of how orderly the Japanese are is how they line up for the train and how they use the escalator. Train lines are ordered and everyone waits their turn while people who are standing on an escalator stay on the right side because the left side is reserved for people who are in a rush. It's so orderly and really pleasing to the eyes. Japan's culture is diverse, and this can be seen in how they greet each other. The Japanese bow when saying hello or goodbye is a sign of courtesy, and the amazing thing is, even their deer adapted this behavior. Especially since it's a cultural thing, it's truly amazing how even their animals learn to be courteous in true Japanese fashion. This next photo clearly shows once again how organized the Japanese are. Most of them park their car in reverse, which is something a few friends of mine have trouble dealing with even now. Makes you wonder how difficult it is to get a driver's license there. Speaking of organized, here's another great example of how organized the Japanese are. Early on in life, they're taught how to wait in line for long periods of time since it teaches self-discipline, cooperation, and respect. This photo is more proof of that. Young students are responsible for cleaning the school since it teaches them important values that are essential later on in life. The rest of the world should teach this to their youth because the results are truly amazing. These traits and values were on full display during the 2014 FIFA tournament as Japanese people stayed after the festive game to help clean up the stadium. That's how you bring honor to your country in a fun and orderly way. Need more proof as to how clean Japan is? Well, if finding koi fish in the drainage channels of Japan isn't enough, I don't know what is. This is probably the only country I know where this is possible, because if you want koi from where I'm from, you need to buy them from an actual fish store, and they're not cheap. Most cost a few $100s, and some even a few thousand. If this happened anywhere else, they might have been stolen. And if you wondered, they're not even put in the drainage channels for aesthetic reasons. They actually eat all the waste in the water to naturally filter it. It's ingenious and beautiful. The Japanese also extend this culture of cleanliness to tourists as they offer them a smartphone wiper dispenser. I've never even heard of a smartphone wiper dispenser until now, and it really speaks volumes as to what kind of people the Japanese are. Thanks to them, you won't ever have to worry about your smartphone getting dirty. The Japanese probably want your smartphone clean so that you can take awesome selfies with their beautiful country as the backdrop. After all, they have these stands to help you capture the perfect selfie. Thanks to Japan, taking photos for the gram is a whole lot easier. Here's a trademark of Japan. Their sakura trees are known as cherry blossoms. These beautiful trees are one of the biggest reasons tourists flock to Japan every year, and I don't blame them. But have you seen a sakura tree made of Lego? Believe it or not, this sakura tree is made up entirely of Lego. That's another reason for you to book a ticket to Japan. With all these amazing photos of Japan, I'd be surprised if you didn't book a plane ticket right now. Which of the photos did you find really amazing? And did I miss any photos worth mentioning? Let me know in the comments down below, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.